Hello friends, welcome to my channel NurseEducare, and I am going to present a topic with you about the circulatory system, blood vessels, its structures and functions. So let's start the topic. For the descriptive purpose, the circulatory system can be divided into two parts. That is, one is the blood circulatory system and the another is the lymphatic circulatory system. So, what is the blood circulatory system? The blood circulatory system includes the heart, the blood vessels through which the blood can circulate throughout the body. The lymphatic system consists of lymph nodes and lymph vessels through which the lymph flows. The lymphatic system I will discuss in another videos later on. Now comes to the blood circulatory system. Blood circulatory systems can be divided into two parts, that is the pulmonary circulation where the lungs release the oxygen to the blood and absorb the carbon dioxide. And another is the systemic circulation where the rest of the body supplying oxygen and nutrients to the cells and remove the waste products from the cells. There are different types of blood vessels are present that participates into the circulatory system. These are arteries, arterioles, veins, venules and the capillaries. And they have different sizes and their functions are some different functions we can see there. Now come to the arteries and arterioles. Arteries and arterioles are the blood vessels that transport oxygenated blood away from the heart, that is from the heart to the body. The arteries and the arterioles have the walls of the arteries and the arterioles consist of three layers of tissue. That is, the outer layer is called the tunica adventitia, that is a fibrous tissue. The middle layer is the tunica media, which consists of the smooth muscles and the elastic tissue, and the inner portion is the tunica intima, which is consists of the endothelium. In large arteries, tunica media contains less smooth muscles and more elastic tissues. Thus, blood pressures are high here. We can remember it like this, that the more the elasticity is more the blood pressure. As in the large arteries, there are more elastic tissues, thus the blood pressure is high. Now comes to the veins and the venules. Veins are the blood vessels through which deoxygenated blood comes from the body to the heart. The structure of the veins are same as the arteries. That means, like arteries, veins structure has also three layers. That is, the outer layer is tunica adventitia, middle layer is tunica media and the inner layer is called tunica intima. But they have less elastic tissues and the smooth muscles. As a result, blood pressure in the veins are less. When the blood came out of the heart, the blood pressure is higher than the time when the blood returns to the heart. Next is the capillaries. What is the capillaries? Smallest arterioles breaks up into the number of the small teeny vessels, that is called the capillaries. The wall of the capillaries are very thin and it is made up of the endothelial cell through which only water and the small molecular substance can pass. But through the wall of the capillary, the large molecular substance like the plasma protein and the blood cells cannot pass, and the diameter of the capillaries are like an erythrocytes, that is the 7 micrometer. Here the types of the blood vessels have been shown. From the heart, oxygenated blood came out through the aorta, then it goes to the arteries. Next pass through the arterioles, then it goes to the capillary. Here actually capillary beds are formed here. In the arteriole end of the capillary, oxygen and nutrients exchange between the capillary blood and the tissue fluid. Then at the venous end of the capillary, carbon dioxide and some cell waste exchange from tissue fluid to the venous capillary. Then this venous capillary altogether forms the venules, then become veins, and through the superior and inferior vena cava all these deoxygenated blood return back to the heart. Next is the sinusoids. Sinusoids are irregular tubular space for the passage of blood taking the place of capillaries and venules in the liver, spleen and bone marrow. So we can find sinusoids in the liver, spleen and bone marrow. The wall of the sinusoids are lined with phagocytic cells. In the right hand side picture you can see these things. The phagocytic cells is called the Kupffer cells that digest all RBC and clear the bloodstream of the toxins. The lumen of the sinusoids are larger than the capillaries. Thus, blood pressure in sinusoids are lower than the capillaries. How the blood vessels diameter is controlled. All the blood vessels except the capillaries has smooth muscle in the tunica media. I have told it previously that all the blood vessels have smooth muscles in the tunica media. Smooth muscle is supplied by the sympathetic nerve. There is no parasympathetic nerve supply into the smooth muscles. Small arterioles have more smooth muscles, so diameter of the vessel lumen and the tone is controlled by the sympathetic nerve. I have already discussed that in the large arteries there are less smooth muscle and more elastic tissues, but in the small arterioles there are smooth muscles amount are more, and the sympathetic nerve acts on smooth muscle, so the lumen of the small arterioles and their tone is controlled by the sympathetic nerve. Arterioles provide the peripheral resistance to the flow of blood, and this is important in maintaining the homeostasis of blood pressure. So, the most important factor in relation to the flow of blood along the vessels is the peripheral resistance. The length of the vessels and the viscosity of the blood and this peripheral resistance is very important, on which the flow of blood is dependent. So thank you all. If you like my video, then share it and subscribe my channel. See you soon. Thank you again.